I'm pleased to introduce someone who is a friend to all of us, who needs no introduction. We know him as the former CEO of Chicago Public Schools, the former Secretary of Education under President Obama, but he's also the founder and CEO of Chicago Cred. He's passionate about this work, and I'm very proud to have him as a leader as part of this initiative. Please welcome Arne Duncan.
I want to thank Vaughn and Esther and George and Mark and Eric for their leadership. Where's Susan? Susan Lee. Where's Susan? Please stand. Please give Susan a huge round of applause. Susan's been an incredible leader with us, with the city, helping to create this vision where a day like this is possible. And as we transition, I just want to take one quick second to tell a quick story, because there's a big picture vision here, but there's also a day-to-day, really nitty-gritty reality that all of us live in. 2 days ago at one of our sites, our employment and training site, in the morning we had a lot of things going on. We had a transition. We had a new young man who was joining employment and training, and as he got on the van to ride to our site, someone already on the van who we had already picked up was a young man who unfortunately had shot him 2 years ago. And he said he had thought for 2 years about retaliating. And as he sat on the van and his friend calmed him down, as I talked to him afterwards, he said, "Arne, that wasn't in my heart anymore. I didn't want to do him any harm. I've changed." He came from the Youth Peace Center. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, please give them and their team a huge round of applause. We all know we have fantastic days, we have heartbreaking days, but we know change is possible. It's not linear, it's not overnight, but it's over time. And had that young man not had the chance to be part of the YPC family, his mindset would have been totally different. He said, "I want the best for him, I want the best for me, we have to keep moving forward." It was one of those moments that can sort of make or break a program, but because of everything you guys had poured into them, he was in a very different mental space. And that's what folks all across the city are doing every single day in his life-saving work. Let me just say, this is like a momentous day, and I don't want to get emotional here, but many of you have been at this for 20, 30 years. I've been at it for 7 years. But I can honestly say I've never been in a room like this, with the private sector stepping up big time, with philanthropy stepping up big time, with a unified violence prevention community across the city, with the philanthropic community investing significantly, and with the public sector, city, county, state, all at the table together. And as bad as Chicago's reputation has been for violence, we have a chance, I honestly believe in my heart, to make history over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And if we can dramatically bring down violence together, all of us together, we can do something that hasn't been done in far too long. This is an unprecedented effort. It's so critical for our children, for our communities, for our city, but this can be a national model. I was born in 1964, not to date myself. 1965 was the last year Chicago had less than 400 homicides. Think about that. My entire lifetime, we have had more than 400 homicides. We're still well above that. If we can drive it down, get below 400, get below 300, get below 200, we have a chance to let our children grow up free of fear. And Craig started, and Father Mike talked about it, the fact that we have young people right now, in the last 2 weeks, at our high schools, walking out of high schools, getting gunned down. We should celebrate the progress, we should celebrate the momentum, but everybody here knows how far we have to go. To live with that level of fear and trauma and heartbreak is unacceptable. And I always say it is never, ever our children's fault. It's our fault as adults, it's our fault as leaders, it's all our fault as whoever we are, and we have to come together and create a very different environment for them. That's what this is about.